Amazing. Jonathan Sim, Awards Radar. It is so nice to talk to you both about the Copenhagen Test. I'm wondering, was there a moment when whether it was like, reading the script or on set that made you realize that the show is going to be different from your typical spy thriller?
I think so. First of all, I love your backdrop.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh,
It looks
yeah.
familiar. I think it was the first day. I mean, first time when I read the script, I thought this was unique. This is different. I want to watch this show. And then it just kept going from there. And I think like when we did those camera tests and we were in like our wardrobe and they had like sort of semi sets built and everything, it was like, whoa, this is so unique and specific and not just generic, and it could have gone that way if they chose to, but it is a really unique show set in something that feels somewhat familiar.
Yeah, for me it was reading the scripts. Like I think that's a lot hinges on the visuals and the world that you build and the acting and the costumes and the hair. But if you start with a solid foundation of a really thrilling story, you're in a great spot. And for me, the first time I read it, that's how I felt.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I want to ask a little bit more about like sort of like, actors process questions because I know it's kind of nerdy, but I'm always wondering like specifically what's going through your minds like right before you hear the word action.
Nothing. uh I think with this show, I think it's so much, but it's for Cobb. There's so much I can't reveal, or you have to hold back. So there's actually a lot going through. For me, there was a lot going through my head, which is great because then you don't really show it, and that's the most fun as an actor is to restrain all that kind of stuff but also know that it is being communicated to the audience. So there's just so many levels to the show and so many so much mystery, so many suspicions and whatnot that like it's all just a jumble, which is fun.
Yeah, for me in particular on this show, usually nerves were coursing through right before they called action. Whether I was actually nervous that day, Parker's usually always nervous, whether she lets on or not. But this is her first time doing anything like this, and the stakes are super high. So I think that the uncertainty is an exciting place to be as an audience member because it tells you to lean in because whatever happens next is crucial to these characters.
Yeah. And I feel like there's always a sort of like uh a disconnect sort of between, what the character is actually is saying and what's actually going on between their minds, right? And I feel like is it ever a challenge for either of you to sort of like, have everything that's going on in the back of your mind and then having to say something else that's completely different?
That's a gift. That's the best thing. I mean, that's subtext. And that's what you want so badly. I mean, that's what was so great about like what Sinclair said about the writing of the show is that to me, the only thing you don't really want as an actor is to constantly be saying exactly how you're feeling. And I think when you're doing that, then you're not acting. Then you're just a mouthpiece. And in this, it's like there's always something else that they're sort of thinking that they can't say, or they're not sure if they should, or if it's the right thing. Sinclair, you have a great moment when with the gun and you have to trust that Simu is gonna come back and it's just like just wait. You don't even explain it.
Yeah.
And like that's so great. I just love that scene.
Yeah, thank you. I think like action, like instinct before action kind of type.
Yeah, yeah.
You get a lot of that in this show.
Oh yeah, absolutely you do. And so I'm wondering also like, between the two of you, just as people, who do you think would be better at working in espionage?
Sinclair.
Uh, I,
Okay.
depending on what you'd have to do, but
Yeah.
I
What
probably
skills do you have to bring as a spy? What do you have that what do you think
think
would
you're
be
so
useful?
funny. You could disarm people. You could make them feel really comfortable, and then they would just tell you all their secrets.
And Sinclair's really smart. So you just be like, oh, she's really intelligent. She knows more than I do. So maybe she has her finger on the button and I just don't even know.
Yeah, that's all that's all very possible. All right. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time to speak with me about the Copenhagen test. I really appreciate it. And congratulations on the show and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks,
Thank
you too.
you.
Thank you.